Hello and welcome to CueSoc's annual 8-ball comp, or should I say trimester 8-ball comp. I am your number one commentator, Josh Hong. Competitors would like to break. Competitor number one is Asif, studying civil engineering at UWS, playing pool for 3 years till the current time, and was born and brought up in Qatar. He's faced a lot of tough opponents to come through to this stage, but he's made it very well, and with a lot of confidence, I should say, to the very grand final. Other finalist is Grant. He's studying actuarial and he's a postgrad, and started playing snooker after being inspired by none other than Ding Junhui, the Chinese snooker player, or the Chinese dragon as they nicknamed him. He's quite the formidable opponent, having already won the 9-ball competition last semester. Joining alongside me is my friend and another commentator, Min-Jae Choi. Min-Jae Choi, hello.
Hello, how's it going, Josh?
I'm alright. Keen for this grand final?
Yeah, personally, I got knocked out in the third round by Grant himself, so I'm honoured to be here commentating his final match. How did you go in the tournament, Josh?
I was knocked out, I think, third round as well, but by none other than Rake or Die, who actually lost to Asif before, and he was quite the formidable opponent, but in the end was beaten by Asif's brilliant positional play and great ball control. Looks like Asif will be breaking, having won the lag.
An interesting point here is that both players break with a house cue instead of having their own set of cues. They only have playing cues.
It's a very interesting point, actually, Min-Jae. I personally break with my own break cue, but some people actually prefer the solidity of the house cue. A lot of people actually prefer that anyway, so well, whatever floats your boat, as they all say. Very firm break from Asif, and he did sink a ball. And
At the moment, it looks like stripes is probably the better option out of the two.
Stripe does seem to be an open play. There are 3 balls clustered for the solids, the 6, 7 and the 2 respectively. Although I'm sure he could probably manipulate the 5 to really break them out. A risky shot, but
Looks like he's probably going to go for the 9-ball and be taking stripes instead of taking the harder option of solids.
just a forward roll. Confidently stroked, and we're underway.
Next, playing the 11, probably going to put a little bit of stun and go for the 12-ball after.
The difficult thing is, if you do miss the ball, as your stripes, you could potentially be blocked off by a whole barricade. Oh, looks like the runner balls ain't favouring Asif today, but it did sound a bit hard, as I thought.
My warranty, Madam President.
Now Grant has ball in hand. Could choose to play the bottom parts of the solids first. He could choose the 1 and the 3 ball, but he does choose to break out the cluster, or at least take one of the 3 balls that are clustered up there.
This would probably be my personal choice, as well as that's probably the biggest problem of the solids.
Yeah, that was well played. He played with an element of safety as well. Well struck. Grant, well known for his confident and silent temperament. Did a bit too much of the run through with the stun. Maybe difficult cutback on the 1.
Beautiful shot there, barely missing this scratch.
I think that pace helped as well.
Only issue now is that he has to look for a long pot, which is very well missable.
called the 5 ball to the middle, and that is very well struck. It's a very keen eye for the pot.
Magnificent shot into the middle pocket there.
That's why Grant's such a dangerous player. He knows once he sees the shot, there's no getting away. And it looks like the first rack will be cleared up by none other than Grant himself.
Very nice stun shot there on the 4 ball. Now he's just going to play the 8 ball into the middle pocket.
And that's the first frame ends. A very confident clearance from Grant to secure the first frame. And what are your thoughts on the first frame, Min-Jae?
I think that the mere one mistake, having turned the frame over to Grant, was a good show of how the skill level of the players are very high.
But as we say, as we always say, it's only just the beginning. It's only just the first frame. We all know how competitive Asif can be. We all look forward to seeing him perform at the highest level as well.
As long as he keeps his mental strong, I think he can definitely bring it back.
Absolutely. He always has he's very particularly dangerous in the counter attack as well. He's known to pick out even difficult pots and secure great positions from them as well. He's always known for his temperament. Just stay cool and just to stay focused. Realize the key points and the key balls.
Now, while I was playing Grant, I've noticed that he's been trying out 2 different spots where he's been breaking from. He's currently chosen the center table. During my match, he did also try the very right side of the table along the line.
It's very well struck from Grant. Very confident break. He did sink a ball, and it does appear that the solids are a bit more spread, although stripes aren't too bad either.
Personally, I think that stripes are a little better again this frame. However, the first shot is probably the most difficult for stripes, as there's no obvious shot here.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. When you make the first shot, I think you'll be okay after the first one. There we go. A beautiful little drawback from Grant.
Beautiful positioning to strike out the 14, which is probably the hardest ball to position for out of all the stripes.
Yeah, that's right. He needs to clear that ball out the way. It's better to have it done than always have it in your way. Could lead to some difficult positioning later, but he's done well to get there. Instruct from Grant, just to the side there. I believe you can still see the orange stripe. Yeah, you can see it. Confidently potted.
Beautiful position to play as well. Straight onto the orange stripe there.
The problem here is getting on those 2 balls, and I think the 10 does pass. Sorry, the 11 does pass the 10, does it?
I think so. And he's played it with a little bit center ball. He's unfortunately snookered himself behind the 2 ball here. I think the best play here is to probably go off wall first, see if he can pot the 10.
Yeah, and that's what Nerf can do to you. He knows the crucial aspect of this second frame, and he would have been hoping to clear up and put the opponent under a bit of pressure early on, but looks like he's the one under the pressure this time. He has called the corner pocket, so he's looking to kick the ball in. Very difficult shot though.
That was a well-struck shot. Even with a bit of awkward queuing, he's managed to hit the 10 ball and got into a relatively safe position here.
Yeah, that's right. Being hampered is never an easy shot, and it's left to sit with a very awkward position. He could pop the ball in the middle, but it's not the best angle.
I think he can see the 1 ball here, and I think he's going to strike at that one first.
He actually made safe off those 2 balls. A very wise option, but not sure can Grant see. Yes, Grant can see the 11.
I think he just plays this at a slow pace, rolls up for the 10 ball.
You could potentially play stun or slight stun run through. Hold for the 10 to this middle. That was by no means easy. Yeah, Asif has a couple of options here. He could potentially just take the red to the middle and start off there, but he could also deal with the balls at the top half of the table. 6, the 7, and the 1.
I think probably the easiest start to this run out would be the 3 ball. However, he's opted into shooting the 6 ball.
Not a bad choice either. He could clear up these colours first. It's well struck from Asif. And as I mentioned before, he has a cool temperament and he's just sorting out the balls just bit by bit as well. Struck. He is straight on the 1. Is he straight on the 1? Yes, he is a bit straight on the 1, but
You can cheat the pocket slightly and put a little bit of top on it to come up with a 3 ball.
that's right. Just a bit of top right as well. Yep, there we go. Yeah, that's well played.
Very confident stroke there.
Yeah, that's right. Just a little bit straight on this one as well. He could play this off 1 cushion. Although it would leave him a slightly awkward angle, but he could play it off 1 cushion as well.
I think he's looking at what positional play he could play for the 5 ball here. I think it might go into the corner pocket. It definitely goes into the middle pocket as well.
Yeah, as I saw before, he did come off 1 cushion, but he has run a bit far here. He could cut it, and I think the best option would be to cut the 2 ball. Play, or just natural stun, take the angle around, maybe land on the 5 as well, or maybe if he runs a bit tall on the 4 as well. Or he could bank it as well. I think he is going for the cut. There we go. Oh. It's quite fortunate, but he did cheat the pocket a little, but it was all calculated.
Excellent shot there. Barely made it, but very good positional play as well on the 5 ball.
Yeah, actually played it with perfect pace to hold for the 5. He can now just play stun. Slight draw actually. Just hold for the 4.
Pace control is essential in this shot. Very well struck there.
Yeah, it's confidently struck. He did probably want to go a bit forward than back, but this is okay. A rail shot, not easy by any means, but let's see how Asif can handle this.
I think just a little bit of top, maybe a little bit of left as well would help get him onto the 8 ball here. And he's opted to play just top, and he's overrun position a little bit, but I think he's all good to go.
And there we go, that's the second frame, this time secured by Asif. So both players demonstrating a very high level of proficiency for positional play and temperament as well, which is really all you really want to have in this game, and particularly in the grand final as well, that's all you can ask for. While we're at it, and while we're waiting for Asif to rack, special thanks to our sponsors. Sponsored by Arc Mikorin, which is an Asian fusion cuisine restaurant in World Square. You can get a 10% discount as a City Heroes member. And thanks to, of course, City Heroes. Special thanks to our sponsors, Arc, Mikorin, which is an Asian fusion cuisine restaurant in World Square, where of course you can get a 10% discount as a CueSoc member. All you have to do is show them your CueSoc card after your meal. And of course, special thanks to our event sponsor, venue sponsor, City Heroes, for providing the venues for this amazing competition.
And Asif's off the break. Starting from the middle of the table, pretty standard break. Very well struck. Unfortunately, it is a dry break, so Grant will be getting up to take his shot on the table.
Yeah, and it does look like both solids and stripes are good, although I would say solids are a bit of an advantage.
The only issue I see is the 5 ball and the 6 ball being in very close proximity. The 6 ball might not go here, which is what Grant's looking at the moment. But if those two go and he can clear it out now, I think it would be an easy clear for solids.
Yeah, it's a good choice. He's taking the 7 first, which does allow him a bit of liberty to just gain a bit of a better angle on the 6, which has he got? Yeah, I believe he does have an angle for the 6 ball. Yeah, there we go. That's very well struck. Played it with a bit of stun as well, just to hold for the 1 ball. He does have a bit of an angle here, so he could potentially just play 1 cushion for the 5 or just draw a stun around for the 2 ball as well.
I think he's looking to play 2 ball here. Yep, a little bit of stun there.
Yeah, that was a great shot. As I mentioned before, he utilised the stun, just to stun around, just to hold for the 2 ball. And I think the 2 balls, sorry, as I should say, at the end of the table, the 4 ball and the 3 ball, they're fairly easy to pot and fairly easy to get position off. So Grant will be looking to take the most out of this opportunity here. Oh, has he run too far? Yeah, he did. He didn't want to run that far, I should say.
He's snooging himself behind the 11 ball. I think he's probably going to look to kick one of the balls that's sitting in the corners, either the 3 ball or the 4 ball.
I think he's looking to masse this possibly. Yeah, there we go. He's all jacked up. So, massing just a pool ball with a snooker cube as well. It's not easy. It's very unlucky. Very close as well. But I think the reason for that occurrence is because when you jack up and try to masse a cue ball, you want to give it a short jab just to make it a bit longer, just to make the duration of the masse just a bit longer, but I think he just slammed it down a bit too hard there. Too much spin, just too much compensation. Now Asif will be looking to take the most of the mistake that Grant's made and look to secure the 2nd frame.
Excellent starting shot by Asif as well, confident stroke. Not deterred at all by the time he's been sitting down. I think he'll be looking to pot the 15 ball, potentially come around. Oh, he's actually potting the pink stripe there.
And you notice Asif showing no hesitation in shots as well. Just he knows what he has to do. He knows clearing up will put Grant under a bit of pressure early on, and that's what you really want to do. Put your opponent under a bit of pressure, just when you're playing as well. It's a good shot. Didn't want to be on the rail or anywhere close to the rail, but he's okay.
Considering his options between the 14 and the 11 ball. The 14 ball will probably run you into the 5 ball if you play with the top, which is the only issue I see, but you could also shoot for the 10. The only issue is if you shoot those 2 balls, you can't get down easily for the 11 ball after. He's going to have to take all of these into consideration before he makes his shot here.
Yes, if there's all the reason to think for a while here. He doesn't want to make another mistake. Actually let Grant get another shot as well.
He's actually opting to shoot the 15 ball first and potentially get better positioning on his other shots here.
I think just a stun shot here will even top and just come on and off the cushion. It's a very ticklish shot there. It's never an easy shot, especially when the ball was that close to a rail. He did manage to pot the ball, but not cold, so it won't count. And Grant looking to make, as I should say, looking to make the most of this golden opportunity.
Should be a pretty easy run out here if he plays 5, 3, and 4. Potentially the 4 first and then the 3 after. Come back around for the 8 ball here.
Yeah, a lot of players would just maybe shoot for the 3 or the 4, saying it doesn't matter. But I think just at this point, the 4 is more better because the 4 is actually on the rail, so it's going to be a bit difficult to take position off as well. While the 3 ball is actually over the pocket, and it's much more easier to do so. A little drawback here. And that's well controlled. That's a beautiful shot. Bit overrun, but it's okay. Just I think dropping it in dead weight as well. Just rolling in. There is a potential to scratch though, and that's what he's worried about. There's every reason to be worried about because since he's overrun it, the angles just become sharper. Yep, there we go. He's jacked up his cue. Doesn't want to scratch per se.
He's looking to put a little bit of draw on his ball so that he doesn't scratch. Excellent shot there. Very confident.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot. Beautiful shot once again. He played it with pace and just a bit of stun as well, just to avoid that scratch in the middle. And as I say, Grant's 2-1 in the lead.
What are your thoughts on the match so far, Josh?
Well, the match so far, we've seen the best of both players already, which I really like to see in a final. I think both players show exemplary positional skills, but I think Grant, in my opinion, has a bit more of a better temperament because he doesn't really get flustered too easily. He knows what he has to do. You can see the influence from snooker as well, because in snooker it's just angles, positions, and also a calm intellect as well.
I think Grant does have the issue of overrunning position and potentially snookering himself on occasion as well.
Yeah, that's right, but he always recovers nicely as well. He thinks the shot's through. That's not what a lot of players do nowadays. They just get down, fire a shot, hope to be on the next one. That's not the case. Grant, yeah, he always thinks his shot's through, and now, thanks to that, he's 2-1 up. Punch and break there from Grant.
Will be dry, however, so let's see if he's going to get a visit to the table.
Yeah, just a quick mention about the break there. You do notice that Asif uses a closed bridge when break, while Grant uses just an open bridge, just a standard snooker bridge, as I should say. And as I say, it's always up to the individual. I use a closed break as well, but it's always nice to just do what you're comfortable with. Grant has a lot of options here. It's a nice spread, but the first shot will be an awkward one.
I think he meant to say Asif, but yeah, he's considering all of his shots here. I think solids could potentially be better, besides the fact that the balls are spread out. The 7 ball is blocking the 13 ball there, which makes clearing for stripes a little harder.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, if he does go for stripes though, he could potentially just play 14, but he is eyeing the 4 ball here.
The issue I see here with solids is that 6 ball that's actually very close to the short rail on top of the table.
Yeah, that's right. The 6 ball's kind of a difficult shot to get onto. However, should he get on the proper side, I think he should be okay. Not an easy feat though. Bit of a stretch here for Asif, but just on and off the cushion.
I think he's going to go 2 rails potentially, maybe 1 rail for the 1 ball. That's 2 rails there. I think he's looking to shoot the 3 ball. He might have over positioned a little bit, but that's fine.
Yeah, as Min-Jae mentioned earlier, the only awkward ball would be the 6 ball. Having been blocked in the closer corner by the 9 ball, the only corner that it really goes to is the opposite, the other corner, as I should say. While it is bankable, he's actually going for it now, which is actually not quite a bad idea at all.
I'm not sure if he's choosing to cut or bank this shot. We'll find out in a second. He's opted in to cut the shot. He's played that with a little bit of left spin so he doesn't scratch in the far corner pocket.
Yeah, that's right. That was a really clever shot there. As Min-Jae mentioned, use of side, one of Asif's many advantages that he can use, and just to avoid the scratch as well. Yeah. Tied on the rail now though, not an easy shot.
He could potentially pot the one ball into the middle pocket as well, but positional play is very hard off that one ball if he does choose to pot it into the side pocket. I think he might be looking at the 5 ball at the moment. 5 ball into the corner pocket there. Actually missed that one. Long pots are always difficult no matter how good you are.
Not an easy shot as well. Now that's Grant the chance again. Although I think he has tied up the 8 and the 14 ball as well, which Grant can open up by potting this 10. Just rolling it forward. There we go. It's a great shot.
Beautiful confidence stroke there. I think he might be looking to pot the 12 and the 9 after, and then come back down for the other balls. Potentially that 13 ball, the orange stripe there. And it's notable that every player has a preference whether they like to pot into the corners or the side pockets. Grant is very confident in his ability to pot into the side pockets because obviously in snooker you have to make use of every pocket that you have. 10 is very big. I think that helps Grant a lot in what options he has with all the shots he has. Beautiful draw there.
That was a really good strike. Just played a little back, just a hold for that middle pocket. I feel that he could play on and off the cushion. Just a touch of right hand side as well. Actually, just. Has he snookered himself? He has. That's the second time Grant has snookered himself.
And I did mention that he has the tendency to snooker himself by overrunning or underrunning position a little bit. And he did do that a few times in my match, which is...
Bad memories for you, Min-Jae?
Yeah, I just lost for words. Just unbelievable.
Grant going for the bank and almost makes it.
That was a very close shot there, very well struck. And Asif doesn't really have too many options here. I think his best option would be to strike the 5 ball here, maybe play it with a little bit of stun or slow roll it in, play for the 3-7 and then come back down for the 1 ball.
Yeah, that's right. Just hold for the 2 balls just over there with the stun shot. Maybe even a bit of draw would help as well. I have this spot.
He's actually missed that one again.
That's not an easy pot as well. He raises his hand and apologises. And rightfully so. He's put Grant in a bit of an awkward situation, but Grant can just stun this one just to the corner pocket. Ball struck. Oh,
that one rattled in the pocket. Very unfortunate shot there.
Yeah, that did rattle just a bit, and this is what can happen in the final match. You know, you never know what's going to happen in pool. That's what makes the sport so great.
There is the issue of the 1 ball and the 14 ball being tied up, but I think the 1 ball can be put into the side pocket without any issues. 14 ball, however, is stuck there until the 1 ball is cleared out. He's played that with a little bit of stun, and I think he's underhit that, so he might have to cut the 3 ball straight into the middle pocket there.
Yeah, he might just roll this one forward to the middle pocket and try to hold just that 5 if possible.
Excellent shot there.
And now the only issue is that 11 ball just hanging over the pocket.
He might be able to squeeze the 5 ball through the gap there, or he might roll the 5 ball through with the 11 ball, just play it nice and soft, or put a lot of draw on the cue ball so that the spin transfer makes the object ball have a lot of topspin on it. He's opted to play in between, which is probably the worst choice that he could have made there. He wouldn't have enough topspin for the 5 ball to actually roll in, and the 5 ball will just jump off the 11 ball pot, and that'd be the end of the shot.
Yeah, now Grant's just in prime position to take the frame again. While it is a bit of a stretch for him, what he could do possibly is just draw it back a little, just a fraction. Play the 14 in the middle.
He's using to get his extension here, which is very interesting. I haven't seen this one yet this tournament, and he's opted to use it now.
He's actually come on and off the top cushion as well. Just try and pot the 14 in the corner. I wonder if it goes.
I think that's a beautiful shot there, actually. Not sure where he's looking to pot this one. I think he's looking to... Beautiful shot. He's broken out the 8 ball as well.
Yeah, now the only issue is if he does go for the corner, will he scratch? There is a potential to scratch in both corners, but he's opting for the 8 in the middle. Confidently struck, I should say. Just a bit of side as well, and now Grant leads 3-1.
And it's 3-1 to Grant now.
So while we're waiting for Grant to rack up, just a little bit of info about the competition format, the 8-ball comp format. So it's a 32-player single elimination knockout tournament. Race to 4 in normal matches and race to 7 in finals match. Calling pockets, of course, lag to break, and the winner breaks.
The prizes for this competition are: first place, they get a glass trophy, they get a Fury Earthlight pool cue, which is valued at around $120. They get a grade CueSoc hoodie, and they get 2 $4 City Heroes vouchers, plus 1 $8 City Heroes voucher.
Second place, just the famous CueSoc coffee mug. I had one of those as well. $40 Coles Myers gift card, not bad at all. 2 $4 City Hero vouchers and $8 City Hero voucher as well. Yeah, I don't know when I'll be able to win any of those prizes, unfortunately. Min-Jae, when do you think you'll win one of those?
You know, I've actually won the minor league champions in the 9-ball season 2 competition. I'm very proud of that achievement, and I'll be getting a hoodie very soon.
Yeah, it's called minor league for a reason. Anyway, Grant breaks. It is dry. Asif has a couple of options. Looks like he's eyeing up the stripes here. Of course, with 2 balls near a corner pocket, I think he'd love to go for the stripes, actually.
I think this is one of the flaws of breaking with a house cue, actually, because the cue is built to be both a playing cue and a break cue. It's a little difficult to get enough power to pot a ball consistently with the house cue.
Yeah, one of the things just stuns across as well, just trying to hold for probably the 9 in the middle, or possibly the 15 as well.
I think the biggest problem ball in this rack for stripes is the 12 ball, but that's easily solvable by putting the 10 ball first and then putting the 12 ball.
Yeah, that's right. And I think he just spot this 9 ball as well. Oh, he actually went for the 15, trying to squeeze it in between the 9 and the 4, but it never works out well. And that Grant in prime position once again with an open rack.
I think the biggest issue here for solids is potentially that 7 ball. I'm not sure if it passes the 8 ball and the 14 ball. There's also the issue of the 2 ball and the 1 ball being on the opposite side of the table near the short rail. Oh, and he's actually missed that 6 ball. Very difficult cut. However, it was expected that Grant made that, being the caliber of player that he is. Very unfortunate miss there.
Yeah, that's right. It was a tough cut as well. You saw his face just after he took the shot. And, he just looked up to see if he hit it right. And his face just tells us he hit it wrong. But
I think Asif is actually going for the 9 ball here. The pocket's made bigger because the 15 ball is sitting on the outside of the pocket on the opposite side of the 9 ball. So he could shoot the 9 ball and then just up off the 15 and then pocket into the middle pocket there.
Well, he actually went without even touching the 15 ball, which actually took me off guard as well. That's a great shot as well.
Very, very well spotted there.
And I know he is a fantastic player, but it does seem to me that Asif is just under a little bit of pressure. The nerves just come to him just a little bit, but I think just after this frame, if he manages to clear up and secure the frame, it's always nice to get a few frames on the board, and we just make him feel that much better.
Yeah, I think he's waning a little bit in the mental department just because he's 3-1 down, but it's very easily comebackable.
Yeah, as his shirt says, get over it. Get over this hurdle of 2-frame hurdles, I should say. Just a delicate shot on and off to cushion, giving him actually two options, just either the 12 ball or that 13 ball just over there.
I think he's looking to pop the 12 ball first and then maybe run up for the 14 ball over there. And because he's spotted the 10 ball first, the 12 ball does now go up, which is one of the issues that I currently previously mentioned. So
I think what he could do here is just start across the 13. Probably enough to see that 15 ball as well. Yeah, there we go. He actually drew it. Better choice, I think. And now it's just left with 3 more balls.
If he shoots the 15 ball into the middle pocket there, he can just bump off the 4 ball and he'll gain position for the 12 ball, which is very easily done. He's actually chosen to force through both balls. And he's still got in position for the 12 ball. Very nice bit of right check on that one.
Yeah, as Min-Jae said, the right spin that he had there just allowed him to bounce off the cushion and get it just a bit of a better angle on the 12 as well.
Hello everyone, this is Harris. I'm going to drop in for like 10 minutes or so.
So Harris is actually the previous winner of the April competition that was held last semester.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast in all rights. He's a computer genius and he's a pool genius as well.
So hello to Josh, hello to Min-Jae.
Yeah, what's up, Harris?
Holding it down in the commentary booth.
Yeah, that's right, Harris. Thanks for mentioning that.
So, I haven't been here for the past 20 minutes when the match started, but how are these guys playing? Anything interesting happen?
So Grant's playing with a lot of confidence and fluidity, which I really like to see from him.
Who's on 3? Who's on 3?
So Grant's on 3. He made a few errors, snooking himself about 2 times during his frames. He managed to bring it back though, as Asif also made mistakes here. He's made one right here where he's snooking himself behind the 7 ball. 8 ball's on the rail, a very difficult shot here.
And Asif just, I think, feeling the nerves just early on as well. He did make a couple of mistakes, just due to the nerves, I think, and just being under pressure from Grant as well. But I think he's beginning to strike back nicely, getting a touch of the ball, just making sure that he does get in touch as well.
Yeah, I think earlier today I saw both Grant and Asif play. Asif actually played Matt Mack before this round, and Grant played Jason Sun. And just looking at their performance throughout the whole day, I think Asif is quite confident. This is definitely not he's definitely not a newcomer to the competitive scene at CueSoc. He's been in heated competitions. He's been around for longer than any 3 of us, right? He's one of the older uni students here.
Yeah, that just shows the experience that he has, and probably he's looking to back this one maybe. The pocket is a bit small due to that 6 over the pocket, but maybe was he just playing safe?
Was he trying to swerve that?
Or? He was actually trying to massate that and cut the 8 ball into the corner there.
Now Grant just in prime position again. The balls are a bit awkward, especially that 6 ball. But what he can do here is probably draw a little bit back, maybe, or even stun across as well. Just trying to hold for those 2 and the 1, or he could roll over and just play for the 3 or the 4.
Yeah, so even similar to Asif, Grant is also an experienced CueSoc player. He's been in a number of comps, a number of finals as well. He I don't know if you guys talked about it, but he won 9-ball comp. I forget which. I think it was last year, trimester, or maybe it was this year. It was this year, trimester 1. But as I said, Grant definitely experienced in this competitive field, and you see it here now. He's definitely got that snooker style, very compact, very reliable, and just like Asif, playing against Jason Sun, Grant was striking the ball confidently, and playing really well.
Yeah, this Grant there doesn't seem to be feeling the pressure that much, although he is a bit under pressure. What he could do, he could cut the 7 in, but just the pace of the ball, just make it drift away from the 6, taking out its extension again.
It's actually a pretty big stretch for him. He's not the tallest player, so he might have a little bit of struggle positioning for this shot as well.
Is he cutting the 7?
Yeah, he's looking to cut the 7 ball in.
Yeah, that's a beautiful stroke. That's a beautiful stroke. Just come around. And he played it with enough pace to not scratch, actually, which is quite a critical aspect of the game.
Yeah, like he needs to avoid the shallow angle here. I don't think he wants to bump the 8. And ooh. So yeah, the thing about that shot was that it was so thin that you would either have to come around the 8 or avoid bumping it because the line was just going to come into the 8. But Grant getting a pretty nice roll there, coming off the jaw, getting a little better position than it would have been down the bottom of the table. But as we say that, he's actually missed, and he's left a medium difficulty shot for Asif.
Yeah, that's what nerves can do as well. That 8 ball was by no means just a simple shot. Another is this either.
I think as long as he plays this with a bit of confident stroke, he should be able to pot this pretty easily.
Oh, and he rattles this as well. And where's that black going? And now this is cuttable as well.
He's left a semi-difficult cut here, but I think Grant's pretty confident that he'll pot this one. And very close miss, but
yeah, there we go. And now in the blink of an eye, Grant is 4-1 up, 3 frames ahead. What are your takes on the match this far, Min-Jae?
I think Asif's wavering a little bit in the mental department. He's not too sure what he's doing wrong here. I think all he has to do is stay strong, just keep striking the balls as he is, just be confident, and I think he'll get through, catch up pretty easily. And
also the other aspect is Asif's been through quite a number of tough matches. He played Ray Cole, who I lost to, and Matt as well, and that just shows you, that just I think took a bit out of him early on, and just to get here enough was a struggle, and he's giving it the best he has though, and we'll wish him all the best.
Yeah, definitely. So this competition started at about 10 a.m. as it always does for CueSoc 8 ball, and we're coming on just about, it's 4:50 right now, so 10 minutes to 5. And you have to take into account that these players have been playing for upwards of 6 to 7 hours, right? With breaks in between, with some food breaks in between, but even then you're playing, because how many rounds do we have? We had about 3 or 4 rounds to get to the finals in the first place. So fatigue is definitely going to be a factor playing in this finals match.
And you'll notice that Grant's actually breaking from the side this time. I mentioned this earlier in the match where he's been trying out different spots for the break.
Yeah, great. We call that a second ball break. If you rewatch that break again, or if you observe where the cue ball's going during that break, basically the objective with that kind of break is to break the second ball in the pack, and then you want the cue ball to hit that side rail on the side that you're breaking on, and then it will come back into the pack to disperse the balls even more. That's how you get good spread from that break. And the great thing about the second ball break is you're often guaranteed a wing ball, because you're putting so much force onto one side of the rack that it pushes the other balls to the other side of the table. You're looking to get that ball into the corner from the opposite side that you're breaking. So yeah, nice to see that Grant's changing the breakup. That's definitely something you don't see with a lot of players.
Oh, and now here, Asif's actually missed that cut on the 15. While he did play it left-handed, he really shouldn't have missed that.
He didn't foul though, which is a bit of an upside, but I think Grant might be looking to strike the 15 ball as well here.
And now Grant has the balls at his mercy again. Now he is opting for the solids, wise choice. He's confidently struck, and now he's in for the 1.
Yeah, it's a little easier for solids to pot, just because of the tie-up between the 11 ball and the 13 ball for stripes. It makes it a little difficult to navigate the 2 of those into a corner pocket there. I think he's positioned really well for the 1 ball here. 3 ball goes, 6 ball goes, everything goes for solids. Stripes is going to be a bit of a struggle this frame.
Yeah, especially with the 11 and the 13 tied up together. It's not going to be easy as a stripes player. But you could break it out with that 12 ball. Maybe play with a bit of screw. Just break those out. But meanwhile, Grant's taking the most of this opportunity.
Yeah, I definitely like him taking the 2 ball here. See what he does. Yeah, I think that's what he played. I'm not sure if he wanted into the side, but what I like doing there was taking the 2 into the long pocket, and then you want to leave that 3 ball so that you can get easy position for the 5 ball, because I don't think that 5 ball goes in the bottom left. So ideally you want to leave that 3, slow roll it so that you can easily get the 5 after that. And I think that's what Grant wants to do. But he's just landed a little funny on the 2 ball right here.
He's just checking his angles on the shot for the 5 ball before he shoots the 2 ball, making sure he has enough angle, come off the 3 slow roll and come off the short rail as well. So he'd be able to see the 5 ball here.
He actually played it really cleverly. He stunned the 2, and that enabled him just to have the right angle. But he's actually going for the 4 first. Good shot. He is straight on this. However, he could play with a bit of pace. The margin of error is a bit slow, but is a bit small, I should say. But
this is actually going to be a pretty difficult positional shot here because he has to have the perfect amount of pace just to be able to see the 5 ball and not duck behind the 12 ball there.
Yeah, like you said, Min-Jae, the gap between the 12 and I think that's a 13 is very small. Okay, so he opted to bump the 12 out of the way, which is a smart way to play it. So he doesn't even have to consider the fact that he's getting in a gap. He can just knock that 12 out of the way, use it as sort of a buffer to get position on the 5.
And this is the important part. There's a lot of traffic around that 5 ball as well, so getting the cue ball through the traffic and just on the 8, it's not going to be easy. Where's that cue ball going? Oh.
Yeah, he's made a mistake. He's actually scratched the white ball into the far corner here, and obviously Grant's made a lot of mistakes where he's given up ball in hand. Asif hasn't made as many mistakes. I think he's just gone a little unlucky with the breaks and the shots that he's been given. I think Asif has a great opportunity here. He's got about half his balls on one side of the table, and I think he can clear those up pretty easily.
Yeah, especially with that 15 ball in the pocket as well. I think that'll be his key ball. If not, then the 14 as it is over the pocket.
There's a lot of easy transitional balls here as well with the 9 ball and the 14 ball, being able to lead him back down table for the 15 and then he can position for the 8 ball into the middle pocket.
Yeah, Min-Jae, you would feel that a slip up here would mean a possible 4-frame lead for Grant here, which seemed a long way back for Asif, if you ask me.
He's actually missed that 11 ball. I think he's losing a little bit of confidence. He's struck that a little too soft there. He has gotten lucky here, however, and he's managed to cover most of the 8 ball with the 14 ball there. Grant can't cut the 8 ball into the corner pocket because the 15 ball is actually covering the pocket. I think Grant's looking at the double at the moment.
Yeah, he could see enough of that 8 ball to maybe just try the full table bank as well, just up and down. Yeah, you see him measuring it up. The pocket's actually made it just a bit bigger if you try the bank because of that 11 just over the pocket, yeah.
I don't think this is an easy shot though because you don't see much of the 8 ball here, and just being able to strike this ball full enough. Well, Harris has just mentioned that he can see enough of the 8 ball. As he struck it, I could definitely tell that he can see enough of it, but he hasn't made the bank here, and I think Asif has a great opportunity here to come back and just clear up table.
Yeah. Second chance for Asif here. Second chance for Asif here. Just in and off the top cushion. There we go.
Strike the 12 ball. Nice bit of pace control here. He might have overrun position a little bit, but I think he was playing position for the 10 ball here. He can just stun that a little bit and go for the 11 ball. Pretty easy.
Yeah, he can always be a bit lenient with his position since that 15 ball is over the pocket, and the strikes, they're not too far away from the pockets either, so you really feel that this is a frame that will be clinched by Asif.
Yeah, I hope so. I think finals wouldn't be a finals if it was just one-sided, so I'm hoping that it's a bit of an exciting match here.
Yeah, that's right. And also, just something I discussed with Harris the other day, we talked about psychology in the pool as well. Just sitting down in your chair, being 5 frames down, it's not a great feeling as well, and I'm sure feeling 3 frames down, Asif would have felt nervous, should have felt a bit disappointed in himself, and been a bit tilted, as I'd say, but, good players always come back around, and it's very important actually not to get tilted when you're down that much as well.
Yeah, as long as you keep your mental strong, you can win pretty easily. As I've won against Josh Hong before in a race, he was up 6-1 to me, and I actually won 6 frames in a row. he got very tilted that day, and he was a little angry.
Yeah, it was quite the race that was, and we'll just put that on hold and talk about our match here, and he can just stun the 9 and he can stun the 8 just to win the match as well.
That was a beautiful shot on the 10 ball there. He rattled the pocket a little bit, but he had enough draw just to come back for the 9 ball. Pretty easy straight shot, stun the ball. Or he can roll forward and make it an easier shot, just a straight shot with the 8 ball into the far corner there.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do in the 6th position. In a position where you're nervous as well, you just got to strike the ball confidently. Just enough for you to get back in the game, just get your concentration levels up as well. Just a straight shot. There we go, that's 4-2 to Asif. And now it's game on.
Yeah, look, I noticed you guys were talking about the whole psychology of pool sort of thing and like your mental attitude towards the game, and I'm just like to point out the fact that if I was gonna have a player in the situation of what's the score right now, 5-2, it would be 4-2. Okay, 4-2, yeah. My bad. If I was gonna choose a player to be in this situation, it would be Grant, because out of the times I've seen him play, too many times has Grant been in that that behind position, and because he's so solid, he has solid fundamentals, and like he's able to really reconcile his losses. He's the kind of player that can bounce back. He's very resilient, and yeah, like I said, if I was gonna have a player in this sort of situation where you need to claw back 3 or 4 frames, I would choose Grant.
Yeah, that's right. But just putting that aside, then going back to my history with Min-Jae Choi, just letting you know, Min-Jae, the past 3 races you've lost to me, and I think the past 2 actually you've lost with scores of 5-2 and 7-1 respectively. So that's just a bit of perspective for you. And just before we get back to you, Min-Jae, we're just going to put that on hold as Zip race again. House cue as usual. With a close break as well, and he knows that this is a good chance to put himself 4-3 up and put a bit of pressure on Grant.
Yeah, I definitely like Asif's style of break. He uses that close bridge, which is the bridge that I normally employ. Asif also does that, the leg kick, I like to call it. A lot of players will do that. They'll send the power through their arms, but it will come through their legs, so they sort of bounce up like that, and you'll see the opposite foot to their leading foot. It will sort of jump up like that. I know, Josh, you do that a lot when you break. I remember maybe the second day or third day after meeting you, one time I was just I was just minding my own business, just playing right, and then this guy just like breaking just kicks me in the balls because he's kicked his foot up from using the breaking style that Asif's using, and I'm just thinking like, oh man, like what has he done to me? But yeah, that break can be very powerful. As you can see, Asif gets a lot of power, gets a good spread, and yeah.
Yeah, and Harris, I do apologise for that incident, and that's probably why you can't
look,
bear
that's
any.
all right, Josh.
And that's probably why you can't bear any children anymore.
Sorry.
But no hard feelings, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Harris had a bit of hard feelings, but as long as he's gotten it out there. So back to the match. Grant's actually missed his shot here on the opening frame. It was a dry break, and he missed his first shot. And Asif's taken advantage of that, and he's just potted a 3 into the middle pocket.
Yeah, I think this is where Asif can shine the most. Being initially 4-1 behind, he's got 4-2. And this is actually a golden opportunity to go 4-3 and put a bit of pressure on Grant as well. He has opted for the solids.
I think that's a foul just there. He's shirt fouled or something.
Yeah, I think he has touched the ball with his shirt. He's just glanced up at Grant, I should say, and that's good sportsmanship. And just putting that aside as Grant chooses his pot for the stripes, I just want to look again at our great commentary team. Min-Jae Choi, he's quite a good amateur player as well, and of course Harris is Dewanta, a D1. He's won an 8-ball title already. It's a beast in itself.
He won Scotch doubles with Jono actually, and Jono's walked off a little bit, but we might get a comment in from him later.
Yeah, Grant's actually chosen to break it out, and it's worked out quite well.
Got a bit of awkward queuing over this 9-ball, but it should be fine. This object ball's not too far from the pocket, Just expect him to stay down here and pot this well. Unless he's looking at the 9 into the middle or something like that, but that's a risky shot.
It is quite a risky shot, and he knows that any failures from here will just result in a bit more pressure being put on him, and whether you're behind or ahead, no one really wants to be pressured that much, especially in a grand final.
Yeah, I definitely preferred the bridging over the ball option, and it's worked out well for him. Definitely didn't like, he was way too close to the 9 ball to attempt that.
And just a great shot. He's cut the 12 in. I should say. He's cut the 11 in, as I should say, but he has sent the 10 ball near the 15, although they are not touching, so should he land on any of those, he'll be able to clear up on, in his attempt to get on that 9 ball, he's actually misjudged the position of play and actually disregarded the pot as well, and that's what you really want to avoid. You just really want to avoid disregarding the pot when you their position as well.
Yeah, I think Asif has a pretty good opportunity to take some balls back here. The big issue here is that 9 ball miss has actually tied up the 9 ball and the 4 ball here.
That's a great shot.
Beautiful shot here. He's broken it out. Nice bit of stun on the shot there. He was on the rail. Bit of a difficult shot. He had to jack up. Oh, excellent shot there.
Yeah, but now the problem is he'll probably have to shoot this 1 ball first, I feel, and that's what I would do personally, because that 1 ball doesn't go in any other corner than the corner pocket opposite the 12 and the 14. So I feel he would either take the 4 or the 1. Yep, he takes the 4 now. Just go around, maybe hold for either the 2 or the 5, I feel.
Oh, yeah, he's rattled the pocket a little there. That pocket hasn't been too kind to the players today. I think Asif's rattled about 3 shots in that pocket. Grant's rattled 1 as well.
And it's not looking good for Asif, because just looking at his body language there, he just cannot believe he's missed the ball, and he knows how crucial that error could be. He has left Grant a combo here, but I think Grant can make this, and yeah, he does make it. Good shot.
Yeah, the great thing about the way that combo was laying was that the 9 ball wasn't going to be in too unfavorable a position after hitting the 12. The speed that we played it out, which was perfect, the 9 was just going to come out and sit over the pocket, so that's a great shot Grant's just played just there.
I think Grant might have miscued that one a little bit. He's missed the 10 ball by about half a diamond, and it's just bounced back. Asif's got a shot now. I think he might go for the 5 ball first, or the 2 ball. If he goes for the 5 ball, he's probably going to play a little bit of stun right. Potentially positioned for the 6. He might come around back for the 4 ball, the 1 ball as well. Beautiful shot there.
Yeah, just that natural angle to come down and probably pot the 4 as well. And Asif knows the importance of this rack, and I think just looking at Grant's last shot there, I think both of them are just feeling the heat, and they're in the heat of the battle at the moment. And I think both players know that a slip up could be costly, and just a bit of pressure just makes them sway a little bit.
It's also pretty hot down here, so like maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, also just like to point out, boys, that if you'll notice, Asif actually on his shirt, he's got a "get over it" in brackets. But it's quite like I'd say that's a good mentality for playing pool.
Yeah, that is a great mentality. And just speaking of great mentality, he's just actually comboed the 1 and the 4, and it's not an easy cut on the 1 as well, and that just shows that he's determined and up for the fight as well. Good to see Asif back in the game. And you see now he's just stroking the ball confidently. He knows that he's got the upper hand, and he knows he has the momentum, and in pool, momentum really is everything, and once you ride it, and there's no stopping it.
Yeah, like speaking from personal experience, I think one of the best qualities you can have as a pool player is being able to forget about mistakes you made a short while ago. So being able to treat every rack as its own rack, being able to hit that reset button at will, that's definitely a skill that I think most players that go into pool, they don't have in the first place, but you develop that over time. And yeah, like I said, both these players have that skill.
Man, Asif just missed that shot there, and just walks away a bit disappointed as well, and now he's left Grant with a great opportunity to clear up.
I think Asif's got back problems or something. He's just walked away from that shot with his hand on his back.
Yeah, Harris is not that old yet. Back to you, Min-Jae.
He's actually holding his back there. He might have pulled a muscle or something. A little concerned for him, but I'm sure he'll be okay.
Yeah, I have to get that checked out.
Yep, just on and off the cushion from Harris. On and off the cushion from Grant, I should say.
Beautiful shot from Grant there. A little bit of topspin on the 15. Perfect position for the 14. He might be a little too straight on this, but I think he can roll forward and pot the 10. Just long pot that one. Stun on the 10 ball, and then 8 ball should be pretty easy into the middle pocket there. Great shot.
Yeah, no, it's just all too simple for Grant. He just stuns the ball and sends the 8 ball to the middle pocket, and you do feel that being 3 frames down, Asif must be thinking, what am I doing? What is going on? And I think despite being despite being down by 3 frames, I think Asif will take away a couple of positives from this rack. And where's the cue ball going? Ooh, very good, very
What
good.
a shot, what a shot.
The table rolls helped him out a little bit there, and Vincent Sue would say to this one, very good, very good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, on the angle that he had on that 8 ball, he was actually looking to, like, if he played that incorrectly, he would have scratched in the top right, as you see on the screen. But interestingly, it's hit the head rail and almost scratched in the bottom right, in the completely opposite pocket. But the table roll, like Min-Jae said, the table rolls helped him out there. And yeah, that's another rack on another frame on the board for Grant, I should say.
Yeah, now it's 5-2 up, and just mentioning, we just spoke to Asif just here, and he did say that when he did pot the 4, he pulled his back muscle just a little bit.
Yeah, he's got a cramp in his back at the moment. He's just trying to get it out, stretch out the muscles.
Yeah, I'm just going to pose a question. I'm just going to pose a question to you guys. What are your thoughts about playing pool with the hat on? Okay?
I actually, this is something you'll notice in a lot of American pool halls. A lot of the hustlers, a lot of the dingy guys at the pool hall who just want to steal your money, just sitting, in the corner of the pool hall on table 14 or whatever.
Just like you, Harris?
Yeah, they'll be the ones rocking especially, like Asif's doing it perfectly now. He's got the baseball cap on, not just any cap, but it's that signature pool player baseball cap. And to be honest, like, I actually love that aesthetic. It adds, like, it's definitely that hustler shark sort of vibe, but in a very infamous, cool kind of way, like very, very traditional pool hall vibe, so to speak.
Yeah, you're right. And getting back to the game, Grant's just broken, and he has sunk the balls, and you do feel that Solis is looking quite good, although that 3 is a little bit awkward.
This is actually the first moist break through the whole race, and I'm very happy to see that it's a moist break.
Have both players been dry the whole game?
They've been dry the whole game, man. I don't understand
That's
why.
unbelievable. That's purely unbelievable, that is.
Yeah, so he's losing 7-1 to a man who sucks at pool, but also, just getting back to the game here, hey, Grant.
Yeah, he lost his words there. He just had to insult me and then just couldn't find his words for the game.
Grant's actually opting to take stripes here, which surprises me a little bit, but it does make things a little bit easier. Yeah, it's just on and off the cushion with just a bit of right side, and the 13, the 10, and the 14, they're just set up in sort of a drill fashion as well. And
I think the 13 goes here.
yeah, it does. What's going on here?
We've got Kenneth Huang here, former CueSoc winner of multiple competitions. Kenneth, do you have a few words for us?
My name's Jeff.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, sorry, we got the information wrong. His name wasn't Kenneth, his name was Jeff.
And he's actually the worst.
My name's Jeff Pham. I lost to
He's actually the
a tube in CueSoc.
He's actually the worst Kenneth in CueSoc as it goes, because he lost to Kenneth Zhang in CueSoc 9-ball Season 2 competition, and that's a very tragic loss. He's actually living up to his title as CueSoc's worst player.
Yeah, we could hardly believe that Kenneth Huang lost to Kenneth Zhang, and Kenneth is the worst Kenneth in CueSoc as well. He actually has a t-shirt that has the worst player in CueSoc, and I don't think I can disagree with that, Bob.
Yeah, I'm actually the worst Kenneth in CueSoc.
So getting back to the game here, you'll notice the 13 and a 10, after breaking them out, after being broken out, I should say, they're lying in a particularly unfavorable spot. I think Grant's actually tried to knock them out then. or at least draw towards that side, but he's actually tied up the 8 in the process, sent it into the patches there.
Yeah, that was quite a risky shot, and playing with a bit of force did help. And incidentally, he did send the cue ball. Sorry, I should say the 8 ball, just in behind the 10 and the 13, which never helps.
Very unfortunate shot. He's tried to play the recovery cut on the 15 and he's just whiffed that by a mile.
Is that 6 frozen to the 8?
I think it is, Josh. It's just caught the. I think if you'll be looking on the screen, it's the 6 lies on the right side of the 8 ball, just enough so that it's frozen, so that you can't go directly forward from the 6, because otherwise it's just going to kiss the 8. So that definitely doesn't pop.
But is that 6 cuttable into the corner
It's
pocket?
not. I don't believe it is. So definitely a problem to solve with this rack for either player, because the 8 ball is going to be a key for both of them. One saving grace is that the 13 and the 10 do go in this top right corner. You would be favoured to get position on those from the 15 if you were Grant, but we'll see what Asif can do here. The only way I see Asif maybe possibly making a favourable breakout here is leaving maybe like a wide angle on the 1, maybe towards that left side of the table, and then he can either go straight into the pack. But the problem with that is the 15's blocking so much of his margin for error that you'd have to play perfect position to get on that shot, because you don't want to be too wide.
Yeah, just as if looking to swing this around with a natural angle, just come off the cushion to the 4 or the 1 as well, and that's well played.
Yeah, I think he's just looking at using the 1 ball to break out the 6. He's looking at the 6 ball and seeing if it cuts.
And just joined in the commentary just by Kenneth Huang, or as we all know, is the worst Kenneth in CueSoc. Hello Kenneth, how are you?
Hey guys. So Min-Jae and Josh, congratulations on your CueSoc commentary debut. How are your thoughts on commentating right now? Because I know it can be very nerve-wracking on the first few words that you talk about. I was one of the first ones to do it. So what are you guys thoughts on it right now?
Well, I must say it is a bit awkward, and it is slightly embarrassing to project my voice all over the internet. I'm not gonna lie, but he did try to break it up. But all that aside, I think it's going to be a good experience, and just to commentate and just really see how I view as a commentator. Yeah. Min-Jae, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just trying to do my best here, just saying what I think is right. I don't really care about my voice being on the internet because it doesn't matter to me.
You've got a great voice.
Hey, thanks, man. I've never heard that one before, so that's the first one for me.
That's right.
And I think Asif's just trying to force the 6 ball into the pocket, but yeah, as they say, pocket pace really, really helps. Just to put the ball at the right pace into the pocket as well. Grant just eyeing up this 15 ball.
I'd like to sincerely apologise for Josh and Min-Jae's boring commentary. Jenny and I will be back next year if CueSoc ever needs good commentators to be back. Just let me and Jenny know. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. You guys doing great. No sarcasm. You guys doing great.
Asif eyeing up the spot.
Some really great commentary by Kenneth Huang, the winner of multiple CueSoc events. Only issue is he's really dropped the ball recently, and he's just dropped his game. I don't know, man. Like he's been losing a lot recently. It's just I don't know what's going on with Kenneth. I hope he can bring it back and maybe win some more tournaments in the future.
Yeah, it's always sad to see a full player just at the downside of his game, but we always believe that he can bounce back, no matter how difficult it can be. And Kenneth, we wish you all the best in the future.
Thanks. I'm gonna try to stay as resilient as possible. I'm gonna try to bounce back and get back to my old previous form. Thank you for your words of support. But saying that, because I'm in such a bad form. If anyone would like to race me, feel free to chuck me a message on Facebook. No head start. Just race to anything. Race for anything. Just hit me up. Thanks.
Yeah, you heard it from him first, folks. Kenneth Huang is advertising himself to race. Now, I don't know if you've ever raced Kenneth before, but Kenneth is an easy player to race. I've raced him before. I have beaten him 10-0. And believe me, it's as easy as it sounds. Kenneth Huang, the worst player in CueSoc. You can catch him at City Heroes every single day from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. He'll be here waiting for you and you only.
Yeah, so back to the game. Looking at a very interesting shot here. I think he might have caught the corner pocket. Might be looking to bank the 7 into the... Yeah, he might be banking the 7 into the corner with the 10 ball in it. It's a reverse cut bank here. And he's off by a good diamond and a half. Very hard shot there. He didn't really have many options there. But
Yeah, and now what he's done is just left Grant. I don't know if you can see the 10 ball. He just see it. Maybe he can massively past it. Yeah, there we go. He has called the 10 ball. Jacking up. Oh. Yeah, we've had mixed reactions from the crowd, and we've had one spectator just yell out "very good" twice as well, and it just shows you the level of support both players are having.
yeah, I think one of the spectators might be a little drunky, but that's besides the point. Yeah, Sis looking to shoot the 6 ball. He's probably going to go for this 1 ball afterwards.
There we go. Sif knows that this frame, I should say, is very critical because 5-2 down, he doesn't want to reach Grant let the hill. He doesn't want to let Grant reach the hill first, I should say. Just roll it forward just a little bit. That's right.
He's left a little bit of a long pot on the 7 ball here, but I favour him to make it. Looks like he's feeling confident at the moment. As long as he straight through, should be able to position for the 8 ball with natural angle here.
Not really. The way he hit that, when it was queuing and when it was feathering, he actually was aiming quite low on the ball, which caused the cue ball to not get much top spin. What he was trying to do was trying to play it a bit of top right hand side, go up 2 rails to get on the black, but
Good thing that Asif didn't end up fouling there because he touched the 8 ball at the very end of that, and he managed to get onto the rail with the cue ball there.
Yeah, another long pot for Grant.
Oh, shot.
He has cheated his pocket just a little bit, but that's another terrific long pot for Grant. And you would...
not a tough shot.
You would back him, but he has another tough shot on this 13 here.
Pot enough is simple enough, but positional play is very difficult. He's unfortunately scratched. That was one of the issues with that shot there.
Yeah,
and Grant's considered the frame. It's 5-3 now.
Yeah, that was always a possibility, either pocket as well. And I would actually have played that with a bit of stun or draw, just in the middle pocket and coming on off the cushion. But always in the heat of battle, you never think the same as other people. And yeah, it's pretty difficult to judge the pace of the ball sometimes.
I think it was just a difficult shot in general. He left himself with a pretty awkward position there, and I think potting it into the corner was probably the better option. However, he needed probably a little slower pace, and he would have been okay. So Kenneth, how's your day going, buddy? I saw you walk in about 10 minutes ago.
Yes. Just another standard day. Just woke up. Just doing my thing. Had some breakfast. I'm not gonna go into too much detail because, to be honest, nobody cares.
I believe we all know Kenneth Huang's daily schedule, which is eat, play TFT ranked, go to bed, wake up at 6 p.m, race people and lose until 6 p.m. in the evening, and repeat. And I believe that's a very unhealthy schedule.
What's TFT?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Josh is talking about. He's repeated a few things like twice.
I think Josh is a little delusional, don't you think, Min-Jae?
Yeah, I think he's a little out of it today. I think a little bit too much balls and
Hallucinating.
hitting balls is just a little too much for him. So, Kenneth, I see you're wearing clothes that are a little nicer than your usual attire. What's going on there?
Yes. Well, I have an event tonight. So I don't know if you guys heard about Missing Pieces Apparel. They're having their launch party tonight. So gotta look the part, dress the part.
Yeah, I did indeed know about that event. I didn't get invited because I'm not close enough to the people that run the event. I'm a little upset, but that's okay.
Alright, gentlemen, putting all those aside, back to the match. Asif has broken and it is moist.
Switch.
And Stripes and Solids both looking quite decent here.
I think the biggest issue with Stripes here is actually the 14 and the 9 ball there.
Yeah, Solids is the way to go here. Solids is definitely the way to go here. Not too many problem balls. The only issue with Stripes is the 9 and the 12.
Maybe just a correction, it's not actually the it's the 12 ball and the 9 ball as well, so
Also,
yeah,
the 11
my
ball
bad.
is a problem.
Yeah, there's a few problems with Stripes here, whereas Solids doesn't have too many problems on the table.
Yeah, also Josh is a problem.
Yeah, I think Josh is a bit of a nuisance, but besides the point here. Maybe the 3 ball and the 4 ball could be a little bit of a problem for Solids, but as long as he positions it correctly, they should be okay to go.
yeah, it's a great shot left-handed, and we know a few players in the game that can play left-handed, but not as well as a certain Ronnie O'Sullivan. He does play left-handed as he does right-handed, which is quite scary, and in pool that's quite a sizable advantage, especially if you're reaching at an awkward angle where you would normally need a rest to actually take the shot.
Yeah, I haven't seen many pool players that play with their swapping between their left hand and their right hands. I think both have their advantages and disadvantages. Some players also like to utilize their height instead of swapping hands to make shots. But if you're short like Josh, that's not really possible.
Yeah, can't relate, Josh. Anyways, Asif actually made that a lot more difficult for himself. When he played that first shot on the 2, he nudged the 9 into the 8. So even if he does clear up the rest of his balls over here, you still have to deal with the 10, the 8 ball. Sorry, because I don't even think it goes into the middle. There's probably not a single pocket it actually goes into. So, and there's no easy way to kind of break out the problem as well. So, Asif's going to have to do a lot of work here to kind of run out the rack. Otherwise, I really don't see him running out the rack at this point in time.
I think he just checked the angles that the 8 ball actually goes into. I'm not too sure if it goes into the corner pocket. I do believe the 10 ball blocks the shot there. And he's trying to figure out the angle where he should shoot the 1 ball so he'd be able to break out the 8 ball as well.
Yeah, shooting this cue ball. Take a little bit of stun, this is the natural angle. Yeah. Oh, he's actually missed the shot now. I think just an overcompensation as well.
What? Yeah.
Oh, you're a fucking dog.
And it's a great long pot from Grant. Apologies, the mic just had a couple of issues there. So let's go for the problem ball, which is the left ball. Confidently struck, and that's a great shot. It's very unlucky. He could have played it with just a little bit more pace, but any more, then he probably would have missed that.
That was a very difficult shot, just straight down the rail. Not too easy, but he's played a safety and it's not turned out too well. I think Asif can actually see the 4 ball in the corner there. Even if he couldn't, if he kicks off the long rail there and just spots the 4 ball, natural angle should bring him out to pot the 1 ball into any of the 5 corners that it goes into. Wait, why did you say that?
Started up. Oh, he's actually scratched. Oh no, he's very close to scratching. Actually.
Spoke too soon, Josh. Spoke too soon.
Apologies. And from my angle, it did look like it was going in, but
We all have the same angle as you, Josh.
I think Josh just can't see properly. I think he's got a little bit of an issue here.
help.
Well, Grant's also missed the shot here and left Asif with a pretty straight 4 ball. Maybe a little bit of an issue, but I think if he plays with a little bit of left spin, he can come out pretty easily for the 1 ball.
Yeah, now the 1 ball does pass the 12 into the corner pocket, so you can actually pot this 4 and get on a right angle. There we go. Now we can just screw the cue ball back just a little bit, just a tiny bit, and probably get on the 8 if it passes to the corner pocket.
Yeah, as long as Asif draws this back a little bit, I think he'll be fine to pot the A ball pretty easily. And he's drawn it back enough. Beautiful shot there, confident.
Yeah, this is where Asif can be really strong sometimes, just getting back into the game and
Oh, excellent shot there. Barely winning the frame there, almost scratching the cue ball.
yeah, that's a great calculation of pace as well. You never want to be hitting those balls too hard, especially with the natural angles headed towards the corner pocket or any pocket for that matter.
You wanna join in, bro?
Just a quick shout out to our CueSoc president, Ray Kordai, and he's been a great president for the first half of the year, and we look forward to having a great president for the latter half as well. I just want to point out that he has a Tommy jacket on today, and we first saw it a couple of days ago at CueSoc League. And what are your thoughts on the Tommy jacket, Min-Jae?
I think it's a very interesting addition to his wardrobe. Recently he's been trying to branch out, buying white sneakers and new clothes that are a little more in style at the moment. And I think Kenneth has a little bit of a thought on this one. What are your thoughts, Kenneth?
I've got 2 letters. First one comes after N. Next one comes after A. Never mind, I screwed that up.
Yeah, now Asif, 5 4 down.
Yep, so the 2 letters, the first one comes after K, and the second one comes after A.
Back to the game, gents. He has broken again, and now he has broken try. Although for the last game, Asif can take back a couple of positives. He is starting to strike the ball as well as he did before, and it feels like his confidence has come back to him as well during the match, and particularly during the last frame where he made some terrific positional pots, just to give himself a bit more confidence, I imagine.
Yeah, I think he's definitely broke back pretty well here. He's unfortunately not potted a ball off the break here, but I think it'll be okay here. Both players have been making mistakes. They haven't had a run out yet, so I think Asif will definitely have a chance to come back to the table. Both balls are looking pretty good, stripes and solids both. Not many issues on the table. I think the biggest issue might be just solids. At the 1 ball and the 7 ball they're tied up, but I think they're definitely separable.
Yeah, and that is a good choice. He chose to go for the stripes because the 1 and the 7 are all tied up, as Min-Jae mentioned, and the 2 ball as well. And if you can avoid the traffic around those balls, I don't see any reason why he can't clear up here.
When do you want to go? When do you want to go?
Now Grant looks odds on to clear up and win the frame here.
Yeah, as long as he positions well for the 9 ball here. Only issue is the 8 ball goes into only the bottom.
We're leaving the 9 last.
Yeah, I think leave the 9 last. He could position for the 8 ball into the middle pocket. Either middle pocket is fine, or the bottom right corner. I think as you guys can see it.
And we could potentially be seeing the first run out here, although he has come a bit too far for the 15. He could play it just on or off the cushion with just a hint of the right hand side. That's a great shot from Grant, and now he is on the 9. And from judging from the reactions around me, that was a great shot as well. Harris, what did you think of that positional shot in the 15?
Yeah, look, I think just that. Hold on, let's just fix. We're just fixing the mic, guys. Give us 1 second. Yeah, look, that whole segment of pattern play by Grant was just very beautiful, if I'm going to use a word to describe it. His pattern play is very methodical. Nice shot in the middle. Very methodical and very sequential, I want to say.
Yeah, and with that completes the first run out of the match. Grant on the hill, and he would seem more the favourite to clear up and clinch another title for himself.
Yeah, I think as this match goes on, Grant just plays more and more confidently. He's got his angles right, he's potting confidently. He just has to close this out. Interesting note as well, in every single previous competition, Grant has actually played with his glasses. And this A-ball comp, as you guys can see, he's playing without his glasses. Now, for those of you that can't see, actually, all 3 of us, me, Min-Jae, and Josh, we all wear glasses, so I want to ask you guys, if you ever have experienced playing not with glasses or with contact lenses or anything like that, what's your thought on what are your opinions and thoughts on the whole wearing glasses thing? And I know there's a few issues that people, like players that wear glasses, run into, so what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, just before I answer that question, I'm just going to wait for Grant to break off and see what will happen as well. And Grant has actually been quite solid throughout, and
yeah, I'm just still waiting for a response here from the boys, but
sorry, I'll just answer the question now. And yeah, just playing with glasses quite hampering sometimes, because when you get down for a shot, especially someone like me I'm just hair at the front as well, and sometimes when you get down for the shot, you can't actually see clearly because the hair just blocks your vision. And also at the same time, sometimes I think both of you can relate with me when I say your glasses slip down sometimes. And
yeah, definitely happens all the time.
Yeah, your vision gets blurry. You can't really see the ball. And having said that, Min-Jae, what are your thoughts on glasses?
Yeah, I mean, the last point about not being able to see the ball and being blurry, my eyesight isn't too bad, so I can actually see the ball fine.
So you can play fine without your glasses?
Yeah, I can actually play without my glasses. I just look like an idiot without the glasses on. So.
That's alright.
Yeah, as long as you can play alright, but you don't.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad, unfortunately. I think the glasses actually hamper me because they get into my eyesight. But when they slide down, that's obviously a big issue, because the frame of the glasses actually gets in your line of sight. That's a big issue with glasses.
Yeah, and just a quick note here, he almost scratched there, but he played with enough power to just rattle the pocket but not actually scratch, and Asif just desperately hanging on to the team.
And actually, Asif's wearing glasses today as well. I was going to ask you guys, when you're cueing with your glasses, are you cueing... So when your glasses slip down, when you're actually looking at the cue ball or the object ball, are you looking at the balls with beyond the part beyond your glasses, as in over the glasses, or are you actually looking through the lens of the glasses?
Well, most of the time I always try to look through the lenses, of course, because that gives me clearer vision as well. But I think most of the time I find myself, especially during the, especially since City Heroes are so hot sometimes, I sweat a bit and the glasses always slide down. And I think you can't help it sometimes but to look over your glasses and take the shot, which is a bit risky, but not too big of a problem, I feel. Min-Jae?
Yeah, I generally tend to look over the frame of my glasses. my eyesight isn't particularly like too bad, so I can afford to look over the frame of my glasses. Only issue is the actual frame of the glasses gets in the way of my line of sight, which is an issue I run into every now and again, but it's not the biggest issue for me.
Oh, Grant just spotting that 5 ball here. Cheated the pocket a little bit, but he is on the 2 nicely, and with 4 balls left and the black, you would feel that Grant looks more or less ready to pinch this frame.
Yeah, he's a little out of line here. This is definitely a prospective bake and run. Oh look, he can take the 3. He can just draw it back a little, and I think he'll be taking the 6 on the side, and then it's an easy shot on the 8. This is a great cleanup by Grant.
I think this is going to be an easy clean-up from Grant here. He's going to draw back a little bit for the 4 ball, use natural angle to come back around for the 8 ball into either the middle pocket or the corner.
And Grant just looking it up, but he knows the 4 goes, and you would feel that this is match ball and around the angles, and that's a great shot.
Yeah, he played that nice, played that with authority. He's a little far, but I think he would have rather played that 4 ball, pounded it in, then soft rolled that. And look, he's just got to hunker down for the shot.
Yeah, I think what Grant did really well there is strike it confidently as well. There it is, and
there you have it, folks. Our 8 ball trimester 2 champion, Grant Lian. As we discussed before, as I brought up before, Grant's one of the strongest players in CueSoc, and it's great to see him grab another title for himself. Well done to Asif, runner-up, also a long-time player at CueSoc. Well done to him for getting this far and for, being able to score 4 frames against such a strong player, and we had a high level final here, no doubt about it.
Yeah, he had a bit of an issue with back cramps earlier, but I think that hampered him a little bit, but I think overall Grant definitely deserved the win here.
yeah, it's a great match overall. Both players displaying great positional play, great temperament as well, although, as Min-Jae mentioned before, Asif was hampered a little bit by back pains, but I think both players played well today. Both players played actually pretty well to get to the final itself, and which is no easy feat, and I think both players can agree that it's been a fantastic match.
Yeah, so quick thanks to CueSoc sponsors. We've got Mikarin, it's a Japanese fusion restaurant in World Square. UNSW, obviously since CueSoc is a UNSW based sponsor. And of course City Heroes for giving us the table time. Invaluable, absolutely invaluable for allowing us to run this competition and have the free table time, so it's great. And this is Harris, I'll be signing off. I'll see everyone in the next competition.
Yep, this was Josh Hong. Thanks for joining me and Min-Jae here. Thanks for listening to my quite boring commentary debut, but I hope to see you again soon.